boy, do we have a terrific episode filled with music, great conversation, laughs, and your interactivity with us live on the Jim Masters Show Live. And we have Erene Mastrangeli joining us from New York, by way originally of Italy. Matter of fact, she just got back yesterday from Italy, Germany, and throughout Europe. And I think she flew back to America just to do this show with us. Actually, she's based in New York City and she's going to perform for us. She's got a new album out today. We're all excited to share it. Loveshine. And let me tell you, you'll see some images from the video. She's going to perform for us as well. She's an extraordinary artist, a dynamic performer, pop, folk artist, Italian born. A lot of people are really talking her up because her voice is extraordinary. Her personality is on point, and she's all about kindness and love and unity and caring and empathy. And her music and her vision and her presentations really are all about that in so many different ways. She's been doing this for quite a few years, gang. She's got other music and material out, and we're so excited to have an opportunity to share the music, as this is something quite exciting because, again, the album literally is coming out today. How cool is that? So this is sort of almost like a release party happening here live exclusively on the Jim Masters Show. Again, just some great images of her doing her thing and the passion and thirst she has for life. Again, she's originally from Italy, makes her home in New York. She's performed at some of the most iconic venues as well, the Bitter End and Rockwood, of course, which is a fantastic place, even the United Nations, and so much more. And it really is a spectacular opportunity to celebrate an artist who celebrates life. And the album Loveshine that is coming out soon is going to be really fantastic. It's actually going to be coming out on November 17th. So this is sort of like an exclusive preview that we're kind of doing here. And it's a musical crusade against hate and inequality as well. She's an internationally acclaimed singer-songwriter, announcing the release of the debut, Loveshine. That's going to be happening November 17th on Angels Music Records. And the captivating title track of the upcoming album set the path for the creation of the full body of work. In 2016, she wrote the song immediately following the tragic Pulse nightclub mass shooting in Orlando, Florida, after she felt compelled to use music as a channel for her emotions. And since that time, her mission has become clear: to use her music to advocate for love, always over hatred, racism, discrimination, and inequality. Now, her music carries echoes of the iconic 70s songwriters, a timeless homage to her influences. Yeah, one of them, of course, Carole King and many others. They call her the Italian Joni Mitchell. Isn't that amazing? And during the album's creation in Rome, they kept saying that. She masterfully wove her tales under the skillful guidance of acclaimed Italian producers. We're going to talk about that as well. And the album's main theme, again, each song in the album presents love as a solution to every issue, whether it's self-love, self-compassion, love and compassion towards another person, or universal love. Love is always the answer. And it's filled with great songs, folks. As I mentioned, she's a dynamic pop folk artist who has really honed her skills over the years and in such incredible ways. And she's going to be sharing that with us as she performs live on this episode. Her musical skills: she started early studying jazz, voice, classical guitar, and piano in Italy, her home country. And her songwriting prowess emerged as she performed alongside top jazz musicians. And as I mentioned, she relocated to New York City, and influenced by the American and Italian contemporary styles. And she has graced, again, some of the most incredible venues. She's also made waves in Nashville and Austin, Texas, sharing stages with lots of esteemed artists as well. Now, this fantastic opportunity here that we're talking about is also celebrating a collaboration that she's done with Brad Roberts of the Crash Test Dummies. Like, she co-wrote "Let's Take It Slow" for the upcoming album Loveshine, and it's really incredible. She's revered around the world, in America, in Italy, and beyond. She goes on tour. She celebrates life. She celebrates music. There is that album again, folks. We're gonna let you know how you'll be able to get a copy of that. She's gonna sing for us, and boy, I can go on and on and on, especially when we have a guest as excited and passionate as the guest we have. But let's welcome her to the show live, coming to us from New York City, just unpacking her luggage from Europe moments ago. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you.
No, we were talking about, the different ways that people have said and people can say your name. I would love for the audience, because you have the Italian accent, for you to say your name as you say it, because it's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Sure. So my name is Erene Mastrangeli.
Isn't that fantastic? That sounds like a song title right there. Welcome to the show, my friend. This is really cool. I know you've been very excited. You've been sharing it on social media, posting away. We have been as well. And it's so nice to join these forces together here, and in music and song. I know you're going to perform live for our fabulous JMS Lovely viewers watching, which is an exclusive, and we appreciate that. And the fact that a big part of your theme in life is love and unity and empathy and kindness and coming together, and your fabulous rhythmic and moving songs are a real testament to that. Where does that come from within you?
That's a great question. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone, but has come up to my memory when I was starting to write songs. And I started writing music. I was a teenager, but that my first real song, maybe I was already 19 or 20 when I, composed something that I could say like, okay, this is a song. And there is often, I guess other songwriters can relate. What am I going to write about? And there was this sense of like, I want to write about, this is what I said to myself. I want to write about love, but different kinds of love, not just romantic love. And this is like many years later when I'm now releasing this album, and I'm like, oh, that vision came true. That's what I'm actually doing. I am writing about love in all kinds of ways. And so it has, and also my name in a way, I think I was born with that idea because my first name, first of all, my last name, Mastrangeli, there's angels in there. So,
yes.
Right. So, but then.
Yes, we both have the M, the A, the S, the T.
Actually, that's Master of Angels, something like that. I think that how it could be translated. So yeah, definitely the same root. But Irene, the first name in Italian, is actually originally spelled with an I, like Irene.
Irene, right? Exactly. Yeah.
But I never recognize myself as an Irene. Like I won't respond to that because I don't. It's not my name.
Hey, Irene, can you pass the salt?
Exactly. I'm like, who are you talking to? But Irene is spelled this way. It's the Greek, because it's a Greek name.
Yes.
Irene, and it's spelled that way, like I spell it in my stage name. And it means peace, or bringer of peace. So anyway, I think there was like something at birth about love and peace.
It's cool. It's unique. It's special. It stands out. And I would use that as well, because that's the name, and it's beautiful, and you don't see it often. So it really does stand out. And again, it also ties into the authenticity of who you are. You want to be authentic, with the name and with everything you do, right?
Yes, exactly. I think that's kind of my maybe signature, authenticity. I'm pretty much, an open book on stage. I feel naked oftentimes because I talk about my, personal experiences And my songs all come from, very deep personal experiences and emotions.
Absolutely. What came first for you? Was it learning an instrument or was it singing first?
Great question. Singing came first. And it came first because my dad, who is an amateur musician and is really good, although he won't say that, he's too humble. But he took me and my sister to a choir because he wanted us to have music in our lives.
Yes.
And I'm so thankful to him for that. And so we were very young. I was 7 or 8 years old, and so that's how we started in a choir. And then from there, shortly after, came the guitar. Mhm.
Very nice. Now, what part of Italy did you grow up? Was it Rome?
Oh, Torino or Turin, up in the northeast,
Oh, yeah, sure.
northwest, sorry, near
Yeah,
Milan.
very
But
nice.
fun you said Rome, because I spent a lot of time in Rome because my father's family's from there. I still have a grandmother there, and so I go every summer, basically.
You literally just came back
Yeah.
from Europe. Tell
Yes.
us about your trip to Europe. I was seeing it was Italy and Germany. I mean,
It
you
was
were really
very rich, very, very rich. I was in Rome, I was in Turin, I was in Germany, and I played a bunch of shows that went really, really well. I started, doing a presentation of my album, and yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I was also vacation. I also went to the beach a bunch of times, spent time with my family. I really treasure, being far away, being here a long time. I try to spend as much time as I can, with my family. And yeah,
was it hard making the move from
it
your
was.
Italy to America? And of course, you came to the big city to New York. Was New York the first place, or were you elsewhere and then came to New York?
It actually was the first place, and that's where I stayed. Although the desire to come back to the States came from an experience in San Francisco many, many years ago, and I love San Francisco so much. I had a great artistic experience. Actually, I collaborated with an amazing artist I'm a big fan of, and so who is an Italian finger picking guitar player.
Wow,
But
yeah.
he's been in the States for like over 40 years, and he has a great career. But I was really a fan. I mean, I was listening to his albums, and happens to be a friend of my dad. And I went to work as an au pair for him,
Very cool.
take care of his little daughter, who is now like 20 something. So that's
Wow,
really
that's
weird.
amazing. That went by in a New York minute.
Yes, exactly. And so we recorded together. This demo was great. And then I met this producer who's like a world renowned producer, and I love it. So it was just this great experience. I was like, I need to go back to the States, and I chose New York because you have to see New York once in a lifetime. And then I stayed.
And there's a lot of Italian restaurants and flair
Yes.
and flavor and culture in New York as
Yeah.
well, of all
Yeah.
kinds.
I feel pretty much at home.
Yeah, I can see
Um,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I have several friends who've come over from Europe in music industry and other areas who New York is where they're at. And maybe they'll start in New York, maybe then Nashville, Vegas, Los Angeles, whatever it may be. They'll really touch upon all the big places. I know Nashville has been sort of on the radar. They're
Yeah.
paying attention to your work, huh? That's exciting.
Yes, Nashville. I want to say even more, maybe Austin,
Austin,
in
Texas, a cool
Texas.
city. Great music scene there,
It's
right?
great. Yes, it's like one of the best. I really love Austin, and the musicians are incredible. And so I had a Nashville, some, but more in Austin, like touring experiences, and it's and collaborating with artists there. It's so great, just an honor, because the
Yeah.
musicianship is incredible.
Your music, as everybody's saying, and again, if folks listening, watching live, here on the Jim Masters Show. Erene, your music resonates with the legacies of some of these names that people are bringing up, like Bonnie Raitt and Carole King, and you are called by many the Italian Joni Mitchell. I mean, how the heck does that make you feel? And and after hearing the material, I can see what everybody's saying. And these are people that are iconic to you as well and have inspired you. So to be placed, in a similar light has to really feel incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, I feel like my heart is like, jumping out of my chest in the sense that it feels like it's a super high standard to reach up to. But it's true. I was recording, my album in Rome. That's where I found my producer, I love very much. And people in the studio started calling me the Italian Joni Mitchell. I was like, what? That's quite amazing, since she's one of my idols for sure.
Well, there is a certain the way it sounds, but also the presentation, the movement, the vibe. It does have that. You do feel it with the Italian spin, which I think is really, really special and really, really cool. And you've had an opportunity to work with some major people too, in terms of jazz musicians and others, right?
Yes, and definitely in Italy, and then here with the great, Brad Roberts of the Crash Test Dummies. That was a very fruitful collaboration. And he's, I remember being in Italy and watching, the music videos and being like I was a big fan. And then I came here and I happened to meet him. It was, and he is the kindest, Brad, who is the, lead singer, the kindest guy and the most talented songwriter. I mean, I've never seen anybody write at the speed he writes at. It's like it, and so eloquently, is a master.
Yes.
So being able to collaborate with him is been like so inspiring.
Absolutely, yes. And that's exciting to how did that sort of come together where you found each other?
Oh, do you want to know the real story?
Wait, we've got a graphic. I tease everybody. We've got a graphic for that. It's called a JMS exclusive. The backstory behind the scenes.
Okay, so
well, it won't be. I walked into a bar.
No, it's like, I think, the weirdest way. I was actually on Craigslist looking for a collaborator on lyrics specifically, because I wanted, not being a native speaker, I wanted to collaborate with someone and like to learn more, how to write in English. And there was an ad. I responded, someone he was like, I put an ad for teaching, maybe, I can't remember, what it was. So I didn't know it was him. So I responded to this ad and we decided to meet. And so he invited me to go to his loft in Soho to meet there. And then I still didn't know it was him. So I ring the bell, I go in, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going into this man's apartment in New York City, off Craigslist of all places, that,
my mother's going to kill me. My father's going to kill me.
Exactly. What am I doing? And I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to try this. And this guy opens the door and I still don't recognize him. And I'm like, oh, can I trust this guy? And then long and behold, I recognize him. Like, it's the guy from the Crash Test Dummies. And he's just kind of this really humble guy.
Yeah,
like,
just a regular cool guy, right?
Yeah. And we decided, and he listened to my stuff. He loved it. And we decided to write together. And so
what a story, right?
Yep.
That's something that does not happen every day. That
Not
was a
really.
big, big moment for you, huh?
Yeah, and it was kind of meant to be. Like, what are the
Yes.
chances, right?
Yes, and sometimes, that's what happens in life. These people are brought together, moments happen, and it's what you do when you seize those opportunities. And in this
Yes.
case, you're making fabulous music together, which I think is really incredible, huh?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Phew. So what was it like putting this particular album together? One of the hardest things everybody always says is, boy, you have all this material, all this music, and you've got to bring it down and condense it to just those songs. You'd love to have 30 songs on the discs, what have you, or for download, but you got to get it down to the certain, sweet spot number. What was that process like, just putting it all together? What inspired you to do this particular album at this particular time? And I ask that because I think the music, the sound, the underpinning of the story of these songs is so needed, even
Mhm.
overdue now. Our world can use more of it right now.
I'm glad you said that. That's really powerful. It's interesting. It really is about, Loveshine, the love. And I I want to also say, like, Loveshine is the title of the album as a noun, but the song is love comma shine, so it's sort of like an invocation to love. That's a song that put it all together, really. When I have this little mystical story about Loveshine, which is, I wrote the song. I started writing the song the day of the shooting at Paul's, because I just didn't know what to do other than, I was just distraught, and I didn't know what to do, really. So I started playing my guitar, and this riff came, and it's the arpeggio I started the song with. When the song was completed, I literally felt like it communicated with me. I just heard this message, and I felt like it was this song telling me, like, I need to get out. I need to be recorded. Get out of these four walls. No matter what you think, no matter what you say, like, I don't care. I need to be out. And I just obeyed the order. I just obeyed, and I trusted this calling and this message. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And that's when I started really looking for the producer. I looked for a producer in New York City, and I didn't find the right match. And then I happened to travel to Italy, and then I was waiting for my visa to be approved, and there was a delay. I had to cancel my flight back, and
Oh
because of
boy.
that,
Yeah.
I met Daniele in Rome, and he helped me putting together really all the songs for that. I mean, the songs were already there, but he helped me choose them. And then I wrote the last one, "We Are Treasures," during the recording of the album.
That's incredible. It really is. For folks who are going to be scooping this album up and really enjoying it, what were you thinking about as you were putting it together, as you were writing and deciding what songs to pick? What is it you hope people feel and are left with when they hear this phenomenal material?
I think what I hope for them to feel is hope, first and foremost. A song like Loveshine could be considered kind of heavy duty, responding to gun violence, but it's very uplifting. There's a lot of light and joy in it. In fact, the music video is like a love fest, despite this kind of like really strong message. And so the idea is really to soothe, because I know how I feel, and we see now some images from the video.
That's beautiful. Where was that filmed? That
This is for Green Park in Brooklyn, one of my favorite spots. And I spent a lot of time there during, the pandemic and lockdown with friends there in Prospect Park. So I really felt like I needed to honor these places.
Very, very cool. How long did it take to make the music video? And again, for those tuning in, she is going to perform live for us, which is an extra treat. She got the guitar there to the right of her. So, how long did it take to actually put the video together?
Well, the video, as I worked with William Murray, this great filmmaker, he's special. He really, all it does is like music videos all the time.
Yeah, that's
He's
perfect.
great. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And we did it in one day. We shot it in one day. And then
one day, really?
One day. That's it.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
And
It's New York, keep it moving.
Yes, exactly. And I gather a bunch of friends there. Like you'll see some of the people in the video are like some of my best friends, and they did that, like the body work. I just let them play with it with markers.
Yeah.
And so and then the editing was really fast. William sent me the first draft, and that was pretty much it, like except one little frame. We changed something there, like made it a little longer, and that was it. Like it was really fast. In fact, we are planning to make another one and have a release right after the album releases another music video.
That is so cool, huh?
Yes. And I love making music videos, I have to say.
Yeah.
If I had a ton of money, I would do that all the time.
Right, exactly. And, in this case, for those watching, they're not sure how the process works. Of course, you have the song first, and then the video captures the essence and flavor of the song. And so the music's first, and then the video is created to match the flavor and flair of the actual song itself. And in this case, it's really something very, very special. We are in a time where we really need some more positive images, positive commentary, positive music, positive, conversations and scenarios in our lives, right? And yes, as much as this is great music and makes you feel good and wants you to start singing along, you have this underlying message of, hey, let's come together. Let's use the words and the music to bring us together, unite us. And I know a lot of people are saying all those kinds of things, but this is a real in your DNA way of life, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I live by it on a daily basis.
Yes.
And that's what I try to do, with everybody in my life, my family, my friends, to be, kind and really have love as really the principal, I would say operating system, and, it's like, when I hear, what happens in the world, and I get this news like the Pulse back then, and then followed by many other, unfortunately, shootings, or like it's heartbreaking. And for me it's my way to process. Like my way is to go to the instrument. That's what I do. I just go to the piano, I go to the guitar, and it's just my way to process what's happening. Because sometimes I just, as I said, don't know what to do with myself when I hear these things. And what happens in the process of writing, it's this magical experience of transcending those feelings of despair. It could be also my own moments of depression during the lockdown, and isolation. And then by the end, I have this piece I love and makes me happy. So the feelings are transcended into something joyful. And so I kind of like sharing the songs is kind of a way to maybe give that to other people, that opportunity to connect with something like joyful and with love.
Which is really fantastic. And it's quite special. And when people see you perform, it's quite a joyful experience too, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, what I try to do is like to really connect with people and have them being part of the performance. I believe that the show is like 50% me and 50% the audience.
Yes.
And so it takes two to tango, you know? So I really try to connect and to, bring that joy, you know, to people.
Which is so important, right? Because, you know, a lot of people are hurting and a lot of people are lost and they need some reassurance. So to be able to do it, music is I say it often on the show, music's a universal language. It is a master healer in many ways. And that, I would say that and comedy, those two things sort of
I
bring
watch a lot of
people
comedy.
yes, me too. I love it. And I'm always known for a quick quip every once in a while. I really believe that music and comedy sort of break the ice. They're a universal language in many ways, and they bring people together. You know, this is really exciting that you have this album out. However, you've been doing this for quite some time. You've got, you know, lots of music that has been out there too that people can also get, right? Tell us about some of these. Look at this one we dug up.
This one.
This is cool.
Yes, this is like me, very young, and
this is one of the first, right?
Yes, one of the first, and they're all on Spotify, actually. So on Spotify, there's a lot of stuff. We Are Treasures. So these are singles that have been released from the album. So We Are Treasures is actually part of the album.
Yes.
And this is like before this album, Rain, Rain.
Yes.
And
what was this one about?
So Rain, Rain is actually an EP, and that I recorded actually at home. So it's a very simple production. But Rain, Rain is being then re-recorded for this album, for example.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then there's Vivere Davvero, an Italian song that if you want, I can sing for you today. But that is in that EP, but I will re-record it as well. So it's there's a lot of work in progress.
A lot of work in progress. And this too, another.
Let's Take It Slow is the song I wrote with Brad Roberts, actually.
Which is awesome, right?
Yes, yes. It's a great little piece. And I can tell the story of that song if you want. I don't know how much time you have. I talk about it.
Oh, no. We've got some time. Absolutely. Yeah. These are conversations, not interviews. Yes. These are conversations. And the audience, they've all welcomed you and they're commenting. We've been showing a couple of comments on the screen. And they said she is already a Jim Masters show Lovety. How cool is that? You're part of the JMS Lovety family already.
That is an honor. That's thank you. Very
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us that story. That's cool.
So Let's Take It Slow. We were asked to write a song for a TV show that was about slow food and for a chef in New Orleans.
So like slow cooking. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And take a nice big crock pot, put everything in it, walk away. 3 hours later, dinner is ready to go.
Well, almost. So slow food, as you probably know, is the response, right? The Italian response to fast food, right?
Right.
And it happened to start in my region in Italy. And my cousin knows the founder, actually, of the slow food movement, Carlo Petrini. And so, but I was contacted by someone else, and nothing to do with them, but who a filmmaker. He was wanting a song for the pilot of the show, and so Brad and I were like, okay, let's write something about slow. And then Brad was like, I already had some music ideas, and he just wrote at like the speed of light this great text. And so we put it together. We loved it. We proposed it to the filmmaker. He loved it, but the show never came together. There was the pilot, and then there was it. And so you know how it goes, right? So
yeah. So you put the music on the shelf for a little bit.
Yeah. No. And then, yes, I put it on the shelf. we recorded a demo, and then it was and then I picked it back up with, for Loveshine, for this album. And Daniele did made a great arrangement for it, and a little bit like 80s style. It's an interesting take on it, and but it's a song people love because it's very catchy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What are some of the things that inspire you to write? As much as you are a singer, you are a prolific songwriter too. And everybody has their various things. People that are in comedy are influenced by things they see that go on in life. How about you? Does life inspire you in many different ways? And
oh yeah.
Could you be on a bus and be inspired? I mean,
Yes. I mean, I remember I wrote a song, I Am a Woman, was in that EP with me, with long dark hair because now it's like a little gray. So, and right, it's still dark.
Salt and pepper.
Exactly.
Little salt and pepper.
And I remember I had a call with, I was subletting a place, and I changed my mind, and I just didn't trust this person anymore. And she got upset, and I called a friend, and this friend said, "Oh, a woman changes her mind. It's fine." So that line became the line of I am a woman. I am a woman, and a woman changes her mind. And that the song just, started. And so that became actually one of my fans' favorite. But it can come from like a phrase I hear, or like I have another song on the album. It's called Beautiful Day. I was sitting at my table, and it was February, like in New York, the light can be so bright.
Yes, right.
And gorgeous. Although it's February, it's freezing. And I was sitting at my table, and I was supposed to clean my apartment, but I, of course, didn't feel like it. I was, looking out the window at this beautiful day. I started writing a poem about this day. And then I said, why don't I try put music to it? And that's how Beautiful Day come about. So it could be a world event, or like a very little thing, it's because life is full of magic, right? In the little things.
Are you inspired by nature too? Like if you go to the ocean, or up in the mountains, or to a botanical garden, or around animals, all those things do it too, right?
Oh my God. Absolutely.
Nature. It's I use this as a reference sometimes because I think it's such a great story. Melissa Manchester has been on our show several times, and she's a great friend of the show and an amazing person, legendary singer-songwriter, of course. And, I asked her the same thing as far as what's the process? How are you inspired? And she too, inspired by so many different things that just happen. And one of the things that she said that she does is when she gets that quick out of the blue moment of inspiration, if she's near it, she will run to her piano. She has a recording machine next to the piano. She will press record, and then whatever is flowing out of her, it might not even make specific sense, but it's flowing out, and she's working it out on the piano and recording it then and there as she's being inspired. Some people say they do that with their iPhone or something. They'll just get into the iPhone and start saying it, doing it, whatever, working it through to capture it as it's happening. Do you have those moments too? Do you try to capture the inspiration right as it's happening?
You have to. Like, there's no... I mean, sometimes, you're out somewhere, you can, but I always have my phone with me, and I record into it in the middle of traffic. Yes, I do the same thing. I love hearing that story. It could be in the middle of the night, early in the morning, late at night, or in the middle of the day. And I just have to run to the piano or the guitar. And I always have the memory of my phone is pretty much taken by my voice memos more than anything else. And I went to the Apple store to ask, like, how do I free my phone of these files? But if I delete them here, they're going to disappear. So there's no other way than keep them in my phone for now. So,
right.
But it's I do the same thing. I put, hit record, and then it could be like a 10-minute long record, but then I have something that it's like, this is it. And then I keep recording over and over again. And,
which is right. You're sort of working it through and working it out as it's happening, right?
Yes. And it's that's why I write songs, because it's the most rewarding. That experience, that moment, is just, that's what I live for,
Is it, it's probably 50-50, but maybe not. Do you prefer songwriting over singing?
Oh, that's
that come
big,
naturally first for you, or
the songwriting happens so much through singing. Like I can, that's how the melody will come, and then from the melody the harmony, and then from the harmony the melody. Like it's just this intertwined. The singing is completely interwoven in the process. So I would say that they're one and the same sometimes.
Some people, like we mentioned, some of these prolific songwriters, they then write songs and write material that then eventually gets sung by other people, or is written for other people to then take and make it big. Has that been something, a part of your world as well?
It hasn't happened. But
you would welcome it?
I welcome it. I'm always open. In fact, sometimes, I listen to singers or to other, I'm like, this song I would love the singer to sing this song, or like it's, I'm always open. And I think that's also another level of the craft of songwriting, is to write specifically for an artist. I mean, that's like, wow. Quite something. I haven't done it yet, but I would
kind
love
of like
to
Burning Topin with Elton John.
Yes.
Yeah, all those songs, hit after hit after hit after hit, or somebody like a Dolly Parton, who's got her own but has written for so many others. I mean, it's incredible, right?
Incredible. Yes. I mean,
very inspiring.
Yes, she's incredible.
So it's a blending of like pop and folk, but in a dynamic way. How do you describe your sound?
I describe it often as sophisticated pop, acoustic, folkish. It's not even
so pop.
So yes. Yes.
Tomorrow she'll be in Soho doing so pop.
Yes, it's because there's a bit of like world music in it, some Brazilian, sometimes some, so it's not easy to put in a box,
The Brazilian viewers, and we have many when we look at our analytics, where do people watch from our show? Of course, United States, Canada, big audience in Great Britain and throughout Europe, and throughout all of Europe, Asia, Australia, but also South America too, and Brazil. So the Brazilian viewers are going to be happy to hear, even those that are in New York area too, from Brazil, going to love to hear that that's part of it too.
Yes.
Those rhythms and the percussion, and just, I love bossa nova too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that just gets, It's just there's a sophistication to it, but yet at the same time, it's approachable, and it sort of draws you in and doesn't want to let you go.
Yes. Right? Brazilian music has been a huge influence for me. Definitely. Jobim, Jorge Gilberto, and Caetano Veloso, and Badia Saad. I discovered this incredible singer-songwriter who is the sister of the Asaj guitarist. They're like this world famous classical guitarist, and the sister, she's this incredible singer-songwriter. Marisa Monti, I mean, name it. Marcio Farajo. I mean, I just like listen to a lot.
Absolutely
not
right.
That I can play it. Not that I can play it. Like I fake play.
She does air guitar.
It made its way into my music big time. Yes.
Yeah, that's hey, everybody gets different nuances and influences from things they hear, and then you sort of make it your own, which is terrific. How
Yeah.
much does the Italian heritage and the Italian influences in music squeeze into your music and your
Yeah.
style?
That is a very good question. So I grew up in Italy. So needless to say, Italian music is definitely a huge influence. Um, there's songwriters I love. Just the other day, I was in Germany with an Italian friend, and she put on this music of this one of my favorite Italian singer. She brought me back in time. I was like singing and just kind of almost crying. It was just beautiful experience of
Mm-hmm.
Reminiscence of this, like my childhood and teenage years. But another influence, so there are these like Italian singer-songwriters who, although were very influenced themselves by American music and jazz, and so their sound was
Yes.
already very international.
I had an opportunity while in Italy on a project in Venice to meet and go to the home with the crew and everybody to Pino Donaggio.
Oh,
And it was fantastic. And what a
yes,
gentleman. And of course,
yes,
known for so much incredible music. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. And of course, the Chucky movie series
yeah,
themes that he's done it all. But yeah, and of course, the home is literally on the Grand Canal in Venice. Not
yeah.
too shabby, huh?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes. And
But
then another influence, this is, I wanted to tell you this little story because it's a kind of also, I don't think I ever told anyone. The huge influence is my grandmother. My grandmother, who's still alive, she used to sing all the time. And I think that's where we all get the music gene, maybe. And she used to sing Neapolitan songs. And so there is also this influence of Neapolitan songs, and then because I was singing in the choir, we're singing classical music, and we would participate to operas in my hometown. Whenever they needed a child's choir, we were called in to sing that part. With also arias, Puccini or Verdi, whatever and so there is that influence too, this, melodies and just passionate,
romance,
yes.
big with romance, yeah.
So there is that too, that has definitely affected my maybe melodic sense, if you
Yeah.
want. So there are all these influence from so many different places, and I love that, where it's not just one genre, one artist, or nobody listens to just one artist, but I've been attracted to so many different things.
And different genres too, because there's
Yes,
so much opera and classical that has come out of Italy as well.
yes,
Yeah.
and that is definitely part of my DNA, so in a way I see it sometimes coming through. I'm like, oh, here is like something from my childhood. My grandmother
Since you
singing.
were from more of like you said, the northern part of Italy, any French influences as well?
French influences, somewhat, because we do listen in Italy to French music. But I wouldn't be able to tell you like, oh, I was so passionate about this French artist in this moment. Just because for me was more, when I was a child, like the Beatles or Dire Straits or
Yeah,
the
right.
Eagles or
Yes.
Jackson Brown, or
So
like
a
that
lot of
was what I would
American
listen to.
and British influences for
a
you,
lot, because
right?
that was like my dad's, taste, and I
Yes.
liked it, and so that was kind of like the big imprint, if you want, like, and that's why then I was attracted to Italian songwriters who were also kind of influenced by Anglo-Saxon music.
What was the first instrument you learned? Was it piano or guitar?
Was guitar, and I have a funny
Guitar.
story about that too. my I was so when I was a child, like my parents were both working. They didn't have the time to take me one place, my sister somewhere else. Like we had to go to the same place. So we had to, and we're like very different tastes, very different inclinations. So I started playing guitar. I chose guitar, my sister piano. We went to the same teacher who happened to be able to teach both piano and guitar. And so I was I was taking my guitar lesson. Then I had to wait for the end of my sister lessons to go home. So I would just watch my sister piano lesson, and I would just kind of like watch and actually learn just by watching how to read, piano music, the bass, and the left hand, the right hand. And then I would go home and do my homework and hers, because I had the piano there and also the book, and that's how I learned, watching her. That's it.
How cool is that,
I
right?
kind of learned both, but guitar was definitely, the instrument I cultivated the most. But now I am actually writing everything on piano. So that passion that kind of like started back then has come back. And during the pandemic, in lockdown, I fell and I had this bad injury, and I wasn't mobile for a while, and I couldn't hold the guitar well. So but I could sit at the piano. So I started playing the piano, and the last 3 years it's been a lot of piano.
Piano, it's a beautiful instrument. I was talking the other night, the honor and pleasure of talking with one of the founding members of the legendary, beloved, and one of my favorite groups, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, wow.
And one of the founding members is putting something together. Is going to be a guest on the Jim Masters show. And he was talking about, the pandemic. And he came up with a word, what he calls it, instead of calling it that, you know what he calls it? And to hear it, he almost, had the melodic way, almost like it would be the title of a song that they would come out with. He called it the damn-demic. Because of all the things that happened as a result. The damn-demic. That's what I like. Wait, what'd you say? I like that.
That's brilliant. Yes.
Write that down. That might be a song idea, right? See?
Yes.
That would be viral. That would be a hit. A lot of people would agree with that on so many different levels.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
Welcoming everybody watching here from around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Our special guest is knocking it out of the park, and she's also going to perform live for us as well. If you missed it earlier, we showed some of the music video, and that's really exciting. The album's coming out, and so this is kind of exclusive what's happening here on the show live. We welcome everybody watching all around the world too. We have an international audience. Thanks to those of you who are commenting in the Lovely Hole chat room. If you want to do that, subscribe to the YouTube channel Jim Masters TV, and you can comment, say hello to one another in our chat room, or you can leave a comment underneath the episode. Give it a like, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. They should all subscribe to Jim Masters TV, shouldn't they?
Yes, they absolutely should.
For all this great content.
Show. Yes.
We are 3 episodes away from 1,000 episodes in just 3.5 years. That's a lot. A lot of levity.
That is a lot. 1,000 in 3 years, that is a lot.
A lot of levity, my friend. Speaking of levity, you're going to share some and hit us up with some levity here. What are you going to play for us?
Well, I was thinking about it. What should I play for you? I was thinking definitely Loveshine, and maybe I'm thinking also I'm gonna release another single off the album next month. Maybe I can play that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I could play an Italian song, and that's not
Very
on the
nice.
album, but
Yes, they'd love that. Yeah, we appreciate that. It's kind of you to do that. So you
sure,
have your guitar right there.
I have it.
What kind of guitar is it? Let's see the beauty.
This guitar is actually not a famous guitar. It's a Norman. It's kind of like a Seagull sub brand, and it was supposed to be a guitar for traveling, and then just became my guitar.
Like a friend, right? Like a good
Yes,
friend, like a
yes,
child almost taking
yes.
care of it. I'm sure you baby it and you know always where it is. And if you go on airplanes and things of that nature, you're like,
Yeah. Oh, airplanes.
if you could buy a seat for it next to you, you would.
Okay. I had this great experience actually in Germany. I was really impressed. Usually they give me such a hard time because I don't want to, ship it. And Lufthansa was actually really kind. They were like, "Oh yeah, no problem." Like,
That's very nice.
So
that's cool, huh?
I was impressed. Yes.
That is cool. Nice stuff. I like the environment with the brick wall and the photos behind you and all. It's very comfortable. Yeah.
My little apartment.
It almost looks like an acoustic set. You know what I mean? Like you're doing your live here on the Jim Master Show. It's cool.
Yes. I love this apartment, and this brick wall is very successful.
Yeah, I tell you, it really is. I'd probably built brick by brick by an Italian bricklayer.
Oh, well,
I don't doubt. more than likely. All right, here she is. Take it away, my friend.
All right. So this is actually Loveshine for you. Stop all the violence, the massacre of life. Stop with the guns. When you kill someone, you die. Stop all the hatred, the persecuted lies. The other is you. It's the little voice inside that cries night after night. Love, love, please come down. Love, love, shine on us all around. Love, love, please come down on us. Shine bright, shine your light, and please show us a way to you that we may learn. Stop all the fighting, the conquest is inside. Nothing outside will give you peace of mind. Stop the exploitation of the mother of our beings. Let's honor our gifts, they're yours and mine and all of us equally. Love, love, please come down. Love, love, shine on us and all around. Love, love, please come down on us. Shine bright, shine your light. Help us see beyond color, race, we will love. Help us see the truth, that we are one. After all, let us heal the past, and from whom came before. Stop the war, grant us peace, bless us all. push us away to you.
That is really nice, isn't it, gang? Everybody watching around the world, doesn't that just get right to your heart and soul? That is nice. And, just watching you perform too, I can see how you get so immersed and engrossed in it. You're all in. What happens? I mean, it's a fabulous song, and thanks for playing it and congratulations on it. What happens to you? Are you lifted and transported somewhere as you're performing? Because you were engrossed. You could see it. You could feel it.
Yes. It's a good question. I think it's like, the singing and the playing and, especially the singing, I think it was what transports the most, the frequencies, and it's just, you hook into another, like a parallel world or something. And you are that. I am definitely transported. Yeah, big
That
time.
is so
And
cool.
and the song itself, reconnecting with the the place where it came from.
Exactly. Which is a beautiful thing when you do that, and you can do it in music. What else would you like to spin for us?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Well, let me sing for you this new single that's gonna come out, and then I can finish up with the Italian song.
Very nice. We love it. And it won't be O Sole Mio, I doubt.
No, it won't.
Not that she wouldn't do that, just,
Oh no, I love it.
she's got something else in mind.
Yeah. All right. So this song is, it's interesting. I sing Loveshine, and then this song is called What is Love?
There's a theme. There's a theme.
There is a theme. Yes. What is love? Love, love. It's a feeling I should know, but I feel betrayed. I feel cheated and ashamed. I opened my heart to you. You took a knife and stabbed me through. Life is bleeding out. Life is running out of love. But what is really love? What is really love? What is really love? What is love? What is really love? What is really love? Could you tell the truth? Won't you give me another clue? Feel I'm on my own, disentangling the mess we caused. Won't you help me out? Please release my doubt. What you feel for me may knock me out. But please tell me if it's love. Is it really love? Is it really love? Is it really love? Is it love? I thought I knew you, that you loved me as a friend, but I was wrong, and now my trust is gone. My heart is shaking, and I don't know what to say. I just wanna run away. What is love? What is really love? What is really love? What is really love? What is love? What is really love? What is really love? I don't know what is wrong. Please, please tell me if it's really love. If it's really love. Well, what is really love? What is really love? What is really love? What is love? What is really love? What is really love? What is love?
What is love? That's great. I love that.
Thank you.
I'll be the alto. Yeah. Mrs. Sebastian told me in music class at 6th grade, Jimmy Masters, you are an alto.
Oh,
And I've been an alto ever since. That's a fantastic song. Really.
thank
You know,
you.
it's got a really cool vibe to it. It does make you want to like swing and participate. And I can see a lot of people together, sort of gathered around, sort of swaying back and forth to it and feeling it. Uh, Definitely does have, it's got the pop sound, but also it's got the folk in
Yeah.
it, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
I had the blessing and honor on PBS to interview a lot of different people over the years, and one group of which is Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh,
And
wow.
Peter, fabulous. He's a real firecracker. Paul and Mary Travers too, who was a real hoot, and just some of the stories about how ingrained the music is. And you know what I have found, and a lot of people have found amazing, is especially with the folk side of music, how Europe loves it. We've had a lot of guests in from Greece and Italy and Ireland and other areas, and they have a real affinity for the American folk sound. Why do you think that is? It is truly an American sound, but
Yeah.
what, you know, as somebody who was born in Europe, born in Italy, what do you think it is about that sound that resonates with so many people overseas?
That is such a good question. I don't know. I think it's like there is something really I want to say the word visceral about it. Something so authentic, it just I think it comes straight from the heart. There's something about that, and that it makes it so universal. And the voices, especially these voices together, it's just people are always
Harmony
fascinated
and
by harmonies and voices together. And I think there is something about American music that has really celebrated that, Um,
authenticity and
yeah, and the harmonies, and these blends of beautiful voices. So, yeah, you're right. I don't know if that I can explain that, but there's a real fascination with it. Yeah.
it's incredible. It really is. And your sound is just, I'm sure people are getting the vibes of the Joni Mitchell. Again, they've described her. If you're just tuning in, folks, we mentioned it earlier. She's been described as the Italian Joni Mitchell, and with elements of Bonnie Raitt and Carole King. You can just hear and feel it all, which I think is so incredible. Which
Wow.
I also love too, which happens all the time, is how, especially when you also have artists that come over from England, they'll have a thick accent, and
Uh-huh.
then the minute they start singing,
It's a way.
you think they grew up, in Iowa or Georgia or Boston or whatever. No, they grew up in Liverpool or Yorkshire or Milan or Rome or Dublin. It's just an amazing thing. How the heck are you able to do that?
That is so funny. Like, you're not the first one who has said that, that the accent kind of goes away while you're singing. I think everybody grows up listening to so much American music that I think also in your singing, it just, you absorb it, you absorb the accent. And I have to say, it's I was such a bad student, like English. I mean, I was a really good student, but English was so like horrible. I was horrible. And so kind of F student in English. So I thought I would never learn it. And then I came here and I just had, and I was like, my English is so poor and I had to learn it. And you know, especially waiting tables and doing things, I had to learn
Yeah.
very
Well, you're
fast.
dealing with the public, right?
Oh my God. But I discovered that this is how I learned a foreign language, being in the country.
That's right.
I realized that I was not bad at it. You know, I just couldn't learn it the other way. But then staying here, you know, many years, I kind of absorb it. I think it's also the musical ear that absorbs the sound.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's funny because, you know, we're here in America, but if you talk to folks in England, they would say that what we speak isn't even English.
You know, it's so funny because growing up, for me, I was clear that I liked the sound of American English way more than British
A
English.
little more relaxed and
Yes,
conversational.
and British English was so hard for me. Like whenever I go to England, I would like, I don't understand what you're saying. Now I do, but there's something about American English. I don't know. I always found it very soothing, and that's
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
me. I don't know.
Now, do you prefer being in the studio and recording and making the music, or do you love being out on stage and amongst folks, the fans?
You know, I love all of it. I love all of it. Being in the studio is definitely like, it's such a, because being in the studio is like a unique experience. You don't make albums all the time. So it's such a very precious moment that you get to enjoy and just really take in, because it's this very special moment, you know. And then, you know, being on stage is the more common, I think, experience, right? You're not in studio all the time. But then being on stage, you know, I think, you know, during COVID, during the pandemic, if I was almost dropping. I was like, maybe I won't perform anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, I think everybody had a crisis, right? During the pandemic. And now I'm like, oh my God, no. I mean, I have to be on stage. So they're like, I love all of it because it just, they're so different experiences.
Yeah.
And being in the studio for me is almost like songwriting, because there is such a creative process in, you know, the arrangements and coming up with the parts. You know, I recorded all the pianos and except one song, and then the keyboards, and so it's almost like, you know, writing another song or coming up with the back vocals, or like it's this. I just love it. I really love it. And then being on stage is another kind of creativity, you know, which is the more kind of improvised creativity, the ones that comes in the moment, and it's kind of, you can't capture anymore, right? It's just in that moment, and that's it. It's gone.
It's happening live and it's
Yeah.
happening now. And
then the audience, you know, which makes every performance unique, because everyone will respond differently. So you have a different show every time. So I think I just love all of the parts, you know, the very intimate moments in my apartment, you know, writing, practicing, and being on stage and being in the studio, doing an interview with you. It's all part of this, you know, and that's why I feel so fortunate, you know, to be doing this.
and we're fortunate to have you here as our special guest. You had a Italian song you wanted to slip into the mix?
So this one, I feel like I'm a bit like with my audience on stage. I tell you all the backstories. All
It's
that.
just the way it is here at the Jim Masters Show. Conversational and have a cup of cappuccino and dig in, right?
So I've been calling this my famous song. It's my famous song. It's never been recorded, but it's my famous song. It's a little bit paradoxical, but I sing it at every show, and people just love this
I
song.
love it. Yeah.
And they kind of learn it. They sing it with me. And so, but it's funny, it's never been recorded. So they hear it only in shows.
That's cool.
But I have good news for my fans. It's going to be recorded soon and most likely be released as a single, you know, after the album comes out.
Very nice.
It's called Vivere Davvero. to truly live, for real, meaning that I can tell you a little story behind it. Was this coming from this, when you chase somebody who doesn't pay attention to you? I think
Yeah, it
that's
can happen in love. It can happen at work. It can happen
exactly.
every
It's so true.
in your family.
In your family. Absolutely. So there was this person I was like after, and then, there was it's not, it wasn't a thing. So the day I realized that my life, I wrote this song, the day I realized that my life was beautiful as it was, I didn't need this person, and I could look around and feel this abundance of life and the joy of it. And I dropped it, so it was a moment of freedom, and that was captured in this song, to live for real, in reality. It's so much better than being in a fantasy.
Right.
So here we go.
Here it is.
Io non so più che cosa sei per me, e non ti cerco più, perché non so che c'è nel mio cuore ormai. Non c'è più spazio, sai, per drammi e via vai. Il mondo era blu se non c'eri tu, ma adesso guardo in su, è blu sei solo tu, il resto è magico, quasi un miracolo, è mozzafiato. Vivere davvero e lasciare che il sentiero si trasformi un po' da sé, senza troppe spinte, va, se lo lascio andare. Vivere davvero e lasciare che il pensiero si liberi dei perché delle storie senza te, quelle da scordare. Mi sento libera nell'aria satura di nuove metriche, di storie eccentriche, ne riscrivo l'esito, forse più esotico, con chi mi è accanto. Vivere davvero e lasciare che il sentiero si trasformi un po' da sé, senza troppe spinte, va, se lo lascio andare. Vivere davvero e lasciare che il pensiero si liberi dei perché delle storie senza te, quelle da scordare. E non posso perdermi se lascio che sia il respiro a mostrarmi quello che c'è in me e a vivere davvero e lasciare che il sentiero si riformi un po' da sé, senza troppe spinte, va, se lo lascio andare. Vivere davvero e lasciare che il pensiero si liberi dei perché delle storie senza te, quelle da scordare.
No wonder why you get requests for that all the time. That is
Thank you.
really beautiful. Wow. That is really, really nice. Boy, when did you start playing that one? How long ago?
Oh, this was a few years ago, actually.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was quite a few years ago, and I'm not sure why I never recorded it, but it's maybe it wasn't fitting anywhere, or
Right. The time has to be right.
the time has to be right. The time
the
is
feeling, the time. That is really fantastic. And thanks for gracing us with that beautiful, beautiful song. And the Italian language is one of the most beautiful in the world, isn't it?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
people tell me all the time. I don't really know because I speak it. So being
It's
native,
just a
you know,
natural.
yeah, what it sounds to foreigners, but it's
Melodic.
I see now, I think more, having lived here many years, like I get a little bit more why people love it. But it's definitely a beautiful language. Yes.
Do you have plans to record more in Italian?
Yes, definitely. I have some Italian songs that definitely need to be recorded. There's another one I really love that is, they need a good production.
How about also Christmas music? Have you toyed? I
Oh,
know everybody
yes, I
loves
toyed with that. Yes, of course.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yes. It's funny you said that because one side of my sort of songwriting is also to rearrange famous songs in my style. Like, I'm someone who doesn't really like to sing a cover as it is, like a song as it is. Like, I need to make it mine. So I create a whole version. And this whole thing started, believe it or not, with the Italian national anthem that I was asked to sing at an official event here in New York. And usually opera singers sing the Italian national anthem. It's a classical piece. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to sing this piece and the way people are used to hearing it.
Very bold and dramatic.
Yes.
Full,
And really like an operatic voice, which I don't have. And so I was learning this. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna learn this piece. So I was learning that, and I was listening on YouTube, and I had my guitar in my laps like this, and then I started playing. Some chords were coming, and I created this folk version of the Italian national, completely different. Same melody, same words, but completely different music behind it. And I presented it to this event, and then it became a hit. People loved it so much. So,
you wouldn't be able to play a little of that, would you?
Oh my God! Now you're putting me.
They would love to hear that. Your spin on it.
If I remember. Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta dell'ermo, di Scipio s'è cinta la testa, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma, che schiava di Roma e Dio la creò. Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta dell'elmo di Scipio, se cinta la testa, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma, che schiava di Roma e Dio la creò. Stringiamoci a corte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò. Giungiamoci a corte, siamo pronti alla morte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò sì. I can't believe I
How
made
cool.
it.
See? That is cool. You probably haven't done it in a little bit, and
I,
here you
yeah,
are,
I'm
and you
really good.
sort of brought it back, and once it
Bring it
gets
back.
going, that's a great version. That is a
Thank you,
great
thank you. It's a
I,
lot of fun.
I love it. I love when I hear different takes on
Yeah.
music that maybe you've heard for 100 years, even like with the Star Spangled Banner in America here.
Yes,
There's so many different takes and versions that
I
have
love it.
I've heard all instrumental, I've
Yes.
heard folk pop, just jazz versions. It's cool.
Exactly. And in the Italian, nobody's ever done it. So this was kind of
No,
like the
this
first,
is
version that's alternative. And I remember one day I actually was able to sing it in Italy for the prime minister at that time. It was this incredible thing, but people were kind of like startled, like they I could tell they were so surprised. But
yes,
then
right?
usually the comment that I get is that people they actually hear the words
Yeah,
of the anthem and they're like, oh, I didn't know he said that. Or like, because there are
right,
other verses to it, they're really
right.
beautiful. So that was like a great compliment, I have to say, and but it kind of it made it a little bit more modern and maybe for younger generations, like
Right, exactly.
more
To
appealing. And
appreciate the heritage and the history and
yeah.
exactly because music is transformative and it transcends the ages, the decades. How many people now are vinyl is big again? People want to hear
Yes.
some of the older music, the cool
Yes.
stuff from before, and they're getting it on vinyl. Wow,
Yes. Yes. And I actually
I've thought about
will I'm printing right now the vinyl of the Loveshine, the album, because yes. And I bought myself, turntable also. Like I want to return to,
oh, I still have mine.
I don't have, I mean, it was in my parents' house. So they still have, our old,
The original,
yes, the
right?
original. I have a modern one with Bluetooth, connection.
Right, yes, right, yeah.
But that is great because you avoid having all the speakers and the wiring and
And I
um
have that too. The
but
speakers, the double cassette deck,
oh
I've saved it all, the Onkyo turntable, the speakers that are like
yes,
this big, and
yeah,
it is cool because when you listen to the music coming out of those speakers
yeah,
and the rich, warm sound, it fills the house and it just it dominates in a way. And you can I think the volume knob goes up to like 40 or something, but if you put it just on 5, it's yeah.
it's
It's and
powerful.
I love when music, I think I've talked about this on the show a couple of times. I'm sure you'll get this immediately. I love music that flows through the house, that's
Uh,
bouncing off walls, and it's like
mhm.
it's just you're hearing different sounds and instruments and different things coming from different rooms and bouncing off. And I know a lot of people like their music to come just straight at
Okay.
them, but I also love when music's coming from behind me
Yes.
and it sort of washes over. It's like coming from behind, even if speakers or whatever are behind me, it's behind and it's like
Yeah.
taking over. There's something just really cool about that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you?
Well, it makes total sense. And you make me think that you'll probably have a super cool sound system at home. And
Yes.
I could think about that.
And have boom boxes and we've got a I mentioned this too on the show. We've got a climate controlled storage unit that we
Uh-huh.
pay monthly for that has a lot of, well, probably thousands of dollars worth of collected LPs. Some of them are open, some of them are still sealed. Real, because I've worked in radio over the years too, and reel to reel tapes and CDs and cassettes, and even cassettes I've taped off the radio over the years, which everybody did. Just and all these genres of music, and it's in this big climate controlled storage bin with, other important things, family photos and family video, my career stuff from television, and different things you don't want if there's ever a fire or a flood. You don't want
Yes.
the whole careers, video and different things just destroyed. But in there are these bins that weigh, when we have to move them, you need a crane, and they're filled with music. I love music.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what um it's so beautiful to hear you saying that. It's something I miss so much is, I used to go to music stores and just kind of look at records.
Tower Records and some of these places, spend hours there, and you'd find you put the headphones on, you sample, but then you go off to the other sections and you find these sort of like gems. And I would love when I would find things from Europe. I used to go when I was in the city, we'd always hit several of the Tower Records. I grew up out east on Long Island too, so we had Tower Records there as well. But we'd go into Record World and all these Record Town and Tower Records and spend hours digging. And I would love to get some of the material that would come from artists, vocal as well as instrumental, from Europe and from Asia. Some really fantastic music, Latin music as well, from Latin America, that you might not necessarily see in the front of the store. And I have so much of it. And I have music groups actually on Facebook and elsewhere, and have had it on Yahoo, where it's filled with people in the music industry and musicians and singers and from all around the world, people who made the music, people who programmed the radio stations that would carry the music. And it's just really cool stuff. And I miss the tactile,
Me too.
Thing of the digging. And then there used to be a store that was a chain, and they went under, and they were big in New York, in Manhattan. It was called Daffy's. And you'd go in there and you would find all these deals on clothing.
Oh,
And a lot
yes.
of it was really cool stuff from Europe.
And
I mean,
near
really,
Union Square, near Union Square, there was one.
yes, you would
Yeah.
come out of there with like these fabulous European jackets and
I
sweaters and
remember.
different things for like cheap. And they didn't last. They went around for years, but then they disappeared. So we would have one bag is filled with Tower Records. The other bag is those yellow Daffy's bags. Try to get
Yes,
them
I
up.
remember. It was yellow.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had a lot of stuff that was from Europe, really, really cool, especially in the men's section.
Uh-huh.
And these really cool European tailored shirts and just a
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff. And some people would say, were you shopping again at Daffy's? Maybe we were, possibly. Definitely Tower Records. Funny.
Oh my God. I remember I found so many really cool albums, just like
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
there was
Just
something about, taking a chance on an
yeah,
album, right?
right.
Like
That's what you
just
did.
it looked a certain way, I don't know, and then I found, like, really, as you said, like amazing gems.
Gems.
And I
Yeah.
miss that, especially because now everything is connected to the phone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so somehow listening to music involves,
Yeah.
using the
Having
phone.
to set things up and
And this,
downloading and just all these different
yeah,
things. Right.
and so that's why I bought myself a turntable, because I want to have the experience of the album, put the album on,
Yes.
and I don't have to look at my phone. It's just
Right.
music,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
So I and then possibly reproducing that experience of like going and dig around.
Right. Yes. Cover art. You open it up. You
Yes.
read.
And
It's
there's the whole thing of cover art, like really the art of like making an album cover, Like, for example, I love mine. I love what the graphic designer did with Loveshine.
yes. What was
And
the inspiration for it?
there's a whole story behind this too.
We're loving these stories. I should
Now-
rename the Jim Master Show to "There's a Whole Story Behind It."
So I did a whole photo shoot, this was like though a few years ago, because, I recorded the album, then it kind of sat around for a little while. I did the photo shoot, and I was hoping to have, one of the shots, be the album cover. But then I couldn't find one that was really the album cover. So in the meantime, we're planning to shoot the music video. And I was on the phone with the filmmaker, and he said, I think I'm gonna bring a drone to the shoot. And I'm like, oh. And then we had this idea, and it's like, maybe you can just we can do a shot with the drone that you're like lying on the grass with your arms open. And I said on the phone, oh, that's the album cover. That's going to be the album cover. Right. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so, but it was going to be with the drone, not with the, high definition camera, whatever. So we did the shoot. And then at the end, we kind of even forgot about this idea. And then I asked, like, William, do you have screenshots from the drone, shot that, on the grass and everything? So he sent me a bunch of screenshots. I'm like, and they were high resolution enough that we could use them.
You could use it.
So the graphic designer had an idea, and I said, I love it, but let's wait after the video and see if we have some shots from there. Then we had the shot. She was like, these are great. Like, she just, worked on them. And that was the cover with the frames of the music video, both the front and the back. So they're not like, photo shoot photo.
Yeah, it's the real, wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool, huh?
Yeah. And I love it personally. It really captures the spirit, way more than the other photos that were like beautiful, but not quite there.
It's perfect. And, the arms are open, and
Yes.
It's like you're sharing love, and it's your time to shine. Yes. And the white outfit and the guitar there. It's like there's a liberation, there's a release. There's it's like a hug for the world. I mean, there's so many different things you get out of seeing it.
Yes, exactly. It's more because there was this big question, like, should I be on the cover or not? There is this concept of Loveshine. What do I have to, like, my big face on it? Like, I don't know. Does it mean anything with love? Like, I was really conflicted, like, or maybe I'm not going to be on the cover altogether. And then this shot, it's kind of like in between. I'm there, but I'm not there, and it's more of a composition. And so it speaks to the concept more than me personally,
Right. Exactly.
So
you're the facilitator, the conduit of the energy.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's not based on how I look or like, or it's so that
it's a great concept.
Yeah. And I love Loveshine as a concept, I have a story with that behind that too, if you want.
Sure. Right.
So,
and not to be confused, folks, with Love Shack.
Exactly.
That's the B-52s. Love Shack. Love Shack.
That's right. So I keep saying, like, oh, love shine. And I was like, there's a comma there. I always say love, comma, shine. I can speak English. I know that it's love shines, but this is an imperative. So love, comma, shine. And I have this friend who is a brilliant musician. And she kept hearing, like, but do you mean love shine as a noun, like sunshine and moonshine? And I'd be like, no, it's love, comma, shine. So I was talking to the filmmaker, and she said this 3 times to me, like, is it love shine, like sunshine and moonshine? So I was talking to the filmmaker.
It's just like you almost created a new word, kind of like we did accidentally with Lovity. Love shine.
Exactly.
Love shine. Are you experiencing your love shine? Get your love shine on. Go see her in concert. I think there's something happening here.
There's something happening, yes. So I was talking to the filmmaker. We're talking about the concept, how to make the music video. And as we're talking, William was really set on making this video really bright and filled with joy and love, and sort of like bring lightness to also the message of the song. And we were talking about it. We had all these visuals already. And I was like, my friend Deborah keeps telling me that she keeps hearing Loveshine as sunshine and moonshine. Maybe that's the title of the album. I think I need to listen to her. so that's how we changed it to Loveshine as a, as a noun. And I love it so much because it opens up so much. It becomes more of a sensation. What does it mean, Loveshine, to you? Like, it just brings this, like, everyone can have their own interpretation of Loveshine,
Exactly, right. It's also great branding, and it's just all these things that come in that it was meant to be, right? It's one of those things where, like when I said levity, meaning light, love, and levity, and I sort of threw the love and levity together, just accidentally slipped up. All of a sudden, everybody fell in love with it, and it became synonymous with this show, the Jim Masters Show series. And I think it's so cool. And I think that's kind of the Loveshine idea too. It's really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
You got your Loveshine on.
And it's funny how these things happen by total accident, like, right? Like, you had that
think
slip.
Part of it maybe also the way you see the world. I think you have to already have an openness and an understanding and maybe a empathetic sort of way where something like that would come out, but then you grab onto it, you notice it, because there's probably a lot of different things, over the course of a day that you say and you do, and it just goes by the wayside. But these things really clicked with us. You know what I mean? It was like, if we weren't going to say it on purpose, it was just going to happen on its own, which I think has a lot to do with the way you see the world, the way maybe you live your life, the way you are with people, kindness and coolness and all these things that really matter. And I think that's how some of these things happen.
Yes. No, I agree.
My take.
No, that is a great take. I actually totally agree. It's also being receptive, being receptive and listening, and just like, the clues, So when you said that, you were receptive to,
that's
like,
what it is. And you with Loveshine.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a gift, right? So either you're able to receive the gift or not.
So for all the Italian family and friends who will, if they're not watching live now because they're probably in bed, who maybe will watch this later in the archives, do you want to say hi to any of them? She's on the Jim Masters Show in America.
Yes. Ciao a tutti. Un grande abbraccio da New York.
I love it. Tell us about some of the exciting things, and we've been showing the website too, and the music will be, of course, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all the great places you get music, which you can also check out the fabulous website. There's videos, there's her story, there's photos, bio, all kinds of cool stuff. Tell us about some of the things coming up in terms of the rollout of the album, and then other things, maybe tours and other things you're excited about.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll roll out. So we rolled out today, Loveshine, the music video. Next month, we will release What is Love, which I sang for you. And then November 17th, the album is coming out. And then in December, there will be another music video for What is Love. And then I'm really, really excited about the CD release party in New York City. So I will play a show with a full band on December 9th at 7 p.m. at the famed Rockwood Music Hall at stage 2, which is the big stage. I'm excited about that. And I love Rockwood. I'm a big supporter the club.
That's a fabulous place. Yes.
Yeah. And I encourage everybody to go to shows there, because sometimes they have difficulties, keeping up with the bills, what it's like New York City clubs closing down.
Just because everything, across America and elsewhere may be reopened.
Yeah.
Especially with the arts, We've seen what's happened to a lot of movie theaters. They've closed. And if you want to enjoy the arts and you want to enjoy the opportunity, you know, I know it's cool to watch things streaming in your house and different things like that. But getting out and also enjoying partaking, you know, and with our show, folks, you can take us on your phone too. We're available on TV, mobile, your computer, your laptop, and your phone. You can watch the Jim Master Show wherever you are. But to go out and actually experiencing it live
music,
it's a cool thing, right? That can never go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Experiences.
I'm excited about, more shows, and then there will be some more shows, most likely upstate New York, and then probably European tour again in the spring. Italy, Germany.
Very nice.
Probably Switzerland. We'll see. Maybe Belgium. Well, it's still in the making.
Very, very nice. Very, very cool. I love it. This has been extraordinary. This has been really terrific. And probably, I hope, a surprise for you as well, because, a lot of people, you do just a quick little conversation, you talk about the music, and then you're in and out, which is cool and has its purpose. And we've done that too. Sometimes we do 20 minutes, we do a half hour, we do 45 minutes, whatever the guest has. But I let it roll. And if the guest has time and they're enjoying themselves and the viewers are, we just let it roll. We don't force or rush anything. But I think, when we have conversations like this, just again, for the audience's edification, none of it scripted, none of it, pre-planned. This is all conversational. It's, we're chatting back and forth as it's happening live. So this isn't stale or stiff. We're reading all these questions, or I'm looking down at the screen, reading everything pre-written. We could do that. And I've done that over the years in my professional work too, but this is the real thing. And I think the viewers feel that vibe of it. They don't know what's going to happen, and the questions and the back and forth and the music and all, I think makes it a real full experience. So I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you. New friend.
Yes. No, me too. I'm really, really grateful, because as you said, we don't always have the opportunity to have a real conversation and real exchange, heart to heart. So I'm really grateful. Thank you, Jim, for having me here.
Pleasure is all mine. And people got a chance to really now not only know about the music, and even those who already are fans of yours and love and follow you, they got a deeper understanding of who you are, where you come from, where you're going, and why you do what you do, which I think is a full circle situation. And we all, I throw in my 2 cents and my experiences blended in, the viewers are commenting. So it's a real 360, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I love this time too.
This was fantastic. And we're going to keep the porch light on for you, my friend. You are welcome back anytime, and spread the word to other folks you think might like to stop by and be a guest on the Jim Masters Show series. And they're all welcome. And the episode will be archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So you can share it. People can see it if they didn't catch us now live. And let's stay connected. Keep me posted. Congratulations on everything. The video came out today, and we have it here. And then, of course, you got the release party. Keep me, let's stay in touch. Keep me posted on everything. And congratulations on it all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Did you want to say a farewell in Italian?
Oh, I will say arrivederci e a presto.
Grazie.
Sì. Bene.
Picked up a few words when I was in Venice. That's it. The margarita pizzas are very good too. Oh boy, they're good.
That's my favorite. Oh my God. When I was in Italy, I was like, I need to have as much pizza as I can.
Espresso, a couple of maybe Prosecco, limoncello here and there. You've got to. They'll throw you out if you don't.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Oh my God.
My friend, you were
so
a blessing and a delight. And
I really appreciate it.
Pleasure all mine. We'll have you back. There again is her website. And we'll keep everybody posted on all the cool things happening with you. Thanks for stopping by the show, my friend.
Thank you so much.
You be well, and take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye now. Phenomenal, right? Absolutely phenomenal. Another terrific conversation here on the Jim Master Show Live, sprinkled in with humor and entertainment, interaction with our viewers. As a matter of fact, we've got to make mention Kathleen Walker watching in New York City. She did a super sticker in the blue color. Thank you very much. We appreciate that support, my friend. Kathleen Walker is always so good at doing those kinds of things. And we appreciate all the new viewers, Andy Marino watching, and everybody else who's new and discovering the Jim Master Show Live series. We are 3 episodes away from 1,000 shows we've done in just 3.5 years, a little over 3.5 years. That is unreal. Absolutely unbelievable. On this episode, you got a chance to be introduced to or reintroduced to the Italian Joni Mitchell herself. And wow, isn't she fantastic? We loved having her in here on the show. She is a blast. She really cares about what she does. Her voice, phenomenal, isn't it? Absolutely. And she did a couple of different styles of music too for us, including the Italian national anthem in sort of a folk style, which I thought was really, really cool. Again, if you hear about her on tour, make sure you get your tickets, capture it all on tour. And then, as we mentioned, there are other things that she's done that have been released that, you can access online and things of that nature as well. So make sure you do that. Singles and other things. So make sure you do that as well. Just sprinkling in a few of them here. And didn't you love all the backstories, even with the story about the cover and how this cover for her new album, Loveshine, was made, how Loveshine was made, even in terms of the songs, the selection, the collaborations, and the cover, how that was put together. Now you got a full understanding. So when you get it, you're going to have just a deeper connection, a deeper feel for the music because you know some of the backstory about how the album was made and how it was all put together and just what it takes to do it. And with the tenacity and the love of doing what she does. Again, originally born and raised in Italy, and then she came for the land of opportunity, America, to sort of make her way and get her footing. And she came right to the big city, to New York, and has been shining ever since and well received and continues to be, which is awesome. We thank her for joining us here on the show, gang. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely there's a big thumbs up like button on our YouTube channel on all the episodes. Give it a thumbs up like. We would love that. And leave a comment for us. Interact on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Yeah, we would love you doing that as well. It doesn't cost anything to do that. And click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes. That's right. Every time we have all these shows, which is just about almost every day, you will never miss it, especially if you like to join us live. So for those of you joining us live, always great to have you here. Welcome all new viewers. Welcome our regular Faithful Lovity Squad. And thanks for all the comments, the interactivity. And we thank our very special guest, Erene, for joining us here on the show. Look for that album, Loveshine, coming out soon. And again, one more time, let's show her website. There it is. Lots of great music there and lots of great music forthcoming from our very special guest. We love you all. Again, you guys know we don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later, ciao, cheers, avida zane, arrivederci, hasta la vista. We say sayonara, slancha, ciao, and cheers, and all the rest. Stop by again. Check out another episode of the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series, bringing back the lost art of conversation, gang, for all of you and you and you and you. Hope you enjoyed it. This is a big weekend for me. Birthday weekend. My birthday is on Sunday, the 24th of September. So we got a big weekend. I hear there's a lot of stuff planned that I'm not even aware of. Places, things, cake. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks to those of you who've been sending cards and emails and tweets, Instagram messages. Some have been sending packages for the birthday. We'll be opening those over the weekend. Thank you for all your love and support of that, the birthday, and of this show. We love having you here. This is the Jim Masters Show. and stop by and see us again. And don't forget, you can binge watch. You can go back in time and dig through our archives as well. We were talking about Tower Records, places like that, dig through their archives of music. You can dig through the JMS archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and see guests from Broadway and Hollywood and television, film, music, stage, sports, comedy, inspiration, psychics. I mean, we have it all, like a traditional talk show series. And they come from all around the world. And if they weren't friends before they stopped by JMS, the guests and I become friends as a result of JMS. You're a friend too, and we love having you here. Spread the word for us. We'll see you again on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. This is Jim Masters, thanking you for your time. This time, till next time. Catch you on the next one. Be well, and cheers.